Yo, welcome to Phantom Tech. Just another Tech Phantom here with you all while today we are going to talk about ROMs, emulation, and Nintendo's stance on them. Now, before I get into the main topic of this video, I just want to say that this is not a tutorial or a guide on how to download or play ROMs. This is simply an opinion piece where I will be discussing my thoughts and feelings on the subject matter. So if you are looking for a tutorial or a guide how to do something illegal, then this video is not for you. But if you are interested in hearing someone's perspective on why emulation and ROMs are important and valuable, then please stick around and give this video a watch. With that said, in 2018, the best-selling console was not Nintendo Switch or Sony PlayStation 4. It was the NES Classic Mini, which cost $60 and came with 30 classic NES titles. This device sold well so much that Nintendo underestimated demand. The NES Classic Mini was frequently out of stock, leading resellers to take advantage of those who couldn't get one. In July 2018, Nintendo filed a lawsuit against the operator of a popular console ROM site called LROMs, alleging that its sites are among the most notorious online hubs for pirated games. The site was shut down within 3 days. In July 2019, Nintendo went after another popular ROM sharing site called ROM Universe, accusing it of being built largely on copyright infringement and piracy. In today's episode, we discuss the future of video game preservation in light of Nintendo's actions against sites hosting illegal ROMs. While Nintendo has every right to protect its intellectual property, shutting down these sites is causing irreparable damage to a community that has single-handedly kept game preservation efforts alive for decades. Nintendo's stance on emulation and ROMs began in 1999 when Ultra HLE, the first public Nintendo 64 emulator, was released. At this time, Nintendo called emulation illegal, but after it was tried in court and emulators were found to be legal, their strategy changed. Instead of targeting emulators directly, they began going after sites hosting ROMs. While Nintendo has a well-documented stance against emulation and ROMs, the company's actions against popular sites like Love ROMs, Vim's Lair, and others have raised concerns about the future of video game preservation. The DMCA exemption for archive.org allows for proper archival copies of vintage software, but is subject to change every 3 years in a ruling process that could expose these sites to takedowns as other ROM sites. It's important to note that individuals who own original games can legally dump their games, but the process isn't easy and requires specific hardware or tools. While Nintendo has provided backward compatibility options for past hardware generations, they cannot be trusted with preserving retro games on their platforms. The number of old classics available on their services is shrinking with each new generation. Nintendo's Switch Online service offers a limited selection of older titles, and the emulation quality doesn't hold up to community-developed efforts that run on other hardware devices. Many publishers see value in partnering with companies like Limited Run or Digital Eclipse to help bring back their back catalogs. Nintendo has failed at preservation efforts time and time again. To conclude, while they, Nintendo, have every right to protect their intellectual property, and while I understand why some people might not like emulation and ROMs, I believe they are essential for preserving video game history. If Nintendo really cared about ROMs, they'd be taking down every single seller on Amazon who's selling knockoff handhelds with 10,000 games on them. And considering mentioned in previous, shutting down essentially ROM sites is causing irreparable damage to a community that has kept game preservation alive for decades. Thanks everybody for listening. While on your way out, hit that subscribe. Peace.
The machines have won. This is John Corner, signing out.